Just listening to the first few seconds of this song immediately resonates within every single player in the Osu community. The drum and bass kicks, the iconic lyrics, and this background have been basically engraved in our minds at this point. With over 7 million plays on Asphyxia's beatmap, United holds a special place within the Osu community. But how people remember this song can vary from person to person. Either you remember the iconic scores that were set on this beatmap and the sheer consistency this map requires, or you remember it for the memes.
Never give up, my friends.
Azer. Azer.
We kicked a kid. United. Yo, you guys have some problems. What the f?
Regardless of the way you remember this iconic beatmap, one thing that we can't deny is that it holds a rich history. One that brought comedic laughter, tested player limits, and turned this map into one of the most memorable and loved beatmaps in the entire game. With many reasons to remember this beatmap, it's safe to say that there are few beatmaps with quite as much impact as United. On November 28th, 2014, Asphyxia would create a map of a remixed version of United by Our Stolen Theory. While the map might not be considered to be extremely difficult by today's standards, it wasn't a walk in the park by any means. Being over 5 minutes long and featuring 175 BPM streams that demand great flow aim, it was a test of nerves and consistency to bring it all together. However, it was nothing too difficult for top players to handle, and soon after the map was ranked, the leaderboard was filled with FCs from top players. While it wasn't the most difficult thing in the world for players to get FCs on United without the use of mods, using mods like Hidden or Hard Rock would prove to be a different challenge that only the most elite players could possibly overcome. But this meant all it took was one legendary player to do something about it. Soon after the map was ranked, Index would start to log some attempts to FC United with Hard Rock. Index already established himself as one of the best Hard Rock players in the world, even rivaling Cookie Z's Hard Rock ability prior to his ban. Most notably, he was known for the first Hard Rock FC on the last journey home, but this would overshadow what he did in the months prior. On January 4th, 2015, Index would get the very first Hard Rock FC on United with ludicrous accuracy. And when I say ludicrous accuracy, I mean ludicrous. Not only did Index get the first Hard Rock FC on the map, his accuracy closely resembled the accuracy of the Nomad plays on the leaderboard as well. But for a player of his caliber, this was nothing out of the ordinary. His play would remain at the top for a few weeks, but then a new challenger arrived. At the time, Azer was a rising star known for his Hard Rock and Hidden Hard Rock ability on longer maps who quickly climbed the ranks in 2015. He, like Index, would also FC United with Hard Rock. Not only did he do this, but he did this as a sight read on his first try. But apparently, this play was not impressive to Azer himself.
But that was first try. First try Hard Rock. That's like a joke.
So in that moment, Azer had a new idea.
Imagine with Hidden. Like, playing that without Hidden makes it so ridiculously easier for me.
He was going to add Hidden on top of it, and he decided to go after this score at all costs. From that point forward, Azer would sink in countless attempts to try and FC United with Hidden Hard Rock, and he would come really close on a few occasions. Painfully close. On January 30th, 2015, Azer would have a heartbreaking one slider break play with insane accuracy. Just 7 100s, all ruined by one slider break that he knows shouldn't have happened.
Why did I get that slider break? It was so stupid. It was like random.
One phrase was uttered throughout his most painful chokes. Never give up.
Alright, we're getting this today. This shit. I can't leave it on that note. We're getting the score, like, today. Never give up, my friends.
And as hard as it was to continue pushing, Azer continued trying to FC United with Hidden Hard Rock, and it seemed inevitable that it would happen eventually. Azer's determination pushed him forward, and on the very next attempt, he did this.
Shit!
Woo! Holy f***, dude!
10 days after he set himself to get the score, and after more than 250 tries, Azer got the first ever Hidden Hard Rock FC on United. This play clocked in at 485 PP, which was the Hidden Hard Rock PP record, and several memes sprung from this iconic moment. Several comment sections were filled with the phrase "never give up," and the quote "tied with United" spawned from this play as not just a funny reference, but as a reminder to Azer's legendary play. With his insane accuracy, this play seemed like it was going to remain unbeaten for a long time, and it did. To beat a score of this caliber, not only would it take someone who had the skill to surpass a play like this, but it would mostly come from a player who dedicated their entire playstyle to set scores of this nature. Not only is a Hidden Hard Rock FC required to even get a chance to beat Azer's legendary play, they would have to match or surpass his incredible accuracy at the same time, without getting score v1. With this in mind, this score was next to unbeatable. But soon enough, there came a player capable of overtaking Azer for the #1 score on the beatmap leaderboard. Racia is a Japanese player who started playing Osu in July 2012. Much like Azer, Racia was well known for his hidden hard rock ability on longer maps. By August 2015, he was sitting on the edge of cracking the top 10 for the first time, sitting at number 11 at the beginning of August. Racia was an absolute prodigy. He effortlessly destroyed leaderboards with top scores, some of which would still stand to this day, and most of the time, it didn't take him long to set the scores he wanted to set. With such insane consistency with hidden hard rock, Racia seemed to be the perfect contender to be the one to take down Azer's legendary score. He set out to do so, and in true Racia fashion, he made it seem as effortless as possible. On August 11th, 2015, Racia would set the second hidden hard rock FC on United, albeit getting one more 100 than Azer. But since Azer hit a lot of 100s towards the end of the map in his play, thanks to score v1, Racia found himself atop the map's leaderboard. This play pushed him into the top 10 for the first time ever, and to this day, you can still find Racia's score on United's beatmap leaderboard. Racia took down a #1 score that was near impossible to beat, and it felt like this play was going to remain atop the leaderboards for a long time. And of course, it did. At this time, there were still no hidden hard rock plays with a single-digit 100 count. Racia's #1 score had 12 100s and Azer's play had 11, so theoretically, there was still room for some improvement. However, no one managed to overtake Racia's score for a long while. A year passed and Racia's score still stood on top. But in that time span, someone was still putting in the effort to overtake their scores. That person is WilchQ. The thing is, WilchQ already FC'd United with hidden hard rock 3 times, and while his accuracy improved each and every time he would set a new FC, it was never high enough to hold the #1 spot on the beatmap leaderboard. He would try for his 4th hidden hard rock FC on the map, and he would end up getting it on August 19th, 2016, more than a full year after Racia's #1 score was set. He became the first person to have a hidden hard rock FC on United with a single-digit 100 count, hitting just 8 100s and attaining an astonishing 99.7% accuracy. Finally, after 4 FCs, WilchQ held the #1 spot on the beatmap leaderboard. The only way for someone to possibly beat this score would require a hidden hard rock FC while getting as close to an SS as possible. And considering how long Racia's score remained unbeaten, it seemed like this score was going to hold on for a long while to come. And that was the case. For 2 months. WilchQ's score was theoretically beatable, but no one could have possibly expected that it would be overtaken in such a short amount of time. Toy would begin to grind out attempts on United for himself. Toy emerged as a superstar in 2015, and quickly established himself as one of the best tournament players in the world, most notably winning NAT 2015 and the Azer World Cup, which would be the first of his 4 OWC victories. But before winning the 2016 Azer World Cup, he committed himself to playing United with hidden hard rock. And well, let's just say he was pretty good at setting high accuracy scores on anything he played. And on October 26th, 2016, he FC'd United with hidden hard rock. But no one in the universe could have expected this. Toy did the unthinkable. He SS'd United with hidden hard rock. He became just the 3rd SS on the map, and the first to do so with any mods. This put him at the #1 spot on the leaderboard, and now it was done. The map was defeated. There is no possible way to beat this score. There isn't a way to get a higher score without using greater score increasing mods like Double Time or Flashlight. Using Flashlight is basically out of the question. But how are people faring with Double Time? Well, they weren't really doing the best. But before we talk about that, a quick word from today's sponsor.
Sega.
Hatsune Miku Colorful Stage is now 1.5 years old, and there's a lot to celebrate. Discover your true emotions with Hatsune Miku and a cast of over 20 characters on the brightest stage. On top of the songs, there's a story campaign with fully voiced dialogue to truly get immersed in your adventure. A new unknown song with no melody or lyrics called Untitled spread throughout Shibuya, Tokyo, and unlocked access to the magical realm of Sekai where everyone can discover their truest emotions through music. Not only does this game feature your favorite Miku songs, the gameplay is extremely tight-knit and the animation is absolutely beautiful. And if this game didn't look pretty enough, you can customize your characters with the many outfits in the game to bring out the true idol in you. The fun never ends. With multiple difficulty levels, everyone can enjoy themselves while jamming out with the music. And the best part about this is that this game is completely free. My favorite price. Right now is the perfect time to start your adventure because they are running their 1.5-year anniversary event where you can get 3,000 crystals as well as other in-game rewards to jumpstart your journey. To get in on the vibrant action yourself, scan the QR code or click the link in the description to celebrate the 1.5-year anniversary together with everyone. Thank you to Sega for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you on the colorful stage. In comparison to today, players back then didn't really have many resources to help them efficiently build speed and stamina. Right now, we have tools such as Osu Trainer, various BPM changers, and Osu Collector among others that allow players to practice their speed and stamina much more effectively. And as a result, it's not a surprise that players are faster than ever before and the volume of speed players has drastically increased. Back then, however, they didn't have access to those resources, and the speed meta was mostly underdeveloped. For example, the leaderboard on Everything Will Freeze, which is 240 BPM, was filled with halftime passes starting out because no one had the speed or stamina to keep up. While reaching BPMs upward of 300 is possible nowadays, speed improvement back then was pretty slow in comparison. The first play that resembles a double time pass was this play by Bahamede. It wasn't a real pass since he changed the AR from 9.2 to 8.9 to make reading easier with double time, but he proved that if there was a player fast enough, passes on this map were possible with DT. However, at the same time, this play spawned a meme.
Heard his shits. Fuck Azer. Fuck Azer. That's all I want to say.
Because of what Bahamedi said after this insane pass, immediately, people started making Gazer memes. This would go on for a while until Cookiesy said he was annoyed with how saturated the meme got, and all of a sudden, the meme died out. Still, it was a funny moment in Osu history in hindsight, but as far as history is concerned, this is all we had in terms of progression on United DT. The oldest double time pass that I could find was by DJ Fuduji, who now goes by the name My Angel Haruna, although they have since deleted the replay from their YouTube channel. This happened on November 10th, 2015. While players have shown that they were capable of having the speed necessary to pass United with DT, we weren't close to anything major in terms of accuracy, and it would take a long time for any sort of progress to be formed in that regard. The first double time B-rank pass was by Spook on November 28th, 2016 with hidden double time. Their score with near 86% accuracy and 57 misses was the best score anyone has gotten up to that point, and just 2 days later, Captain would get the first 90% DT pass. His hidden double time score also had the lowest DT miscount at 44. The map was out for 2 years, and by this point, the progression towards insane double time scores was very minimal, but people would continue to make strides, and as speed became more prevalent, the progression also accelerated as a result. Rafis would get the first DT A-rank pass on February 28th, 2018, and he also had the best DT miscount with only 32 misses. Rafis actually had a DT pass all the way back on April 29th, 2016, but this play was set offline and thus his original score was not on the leaderboards. But a year and a half later, he came back and set the very first DT A-rank. In terms of accuracy, this score would not be beaten for a while. This score remained as the best DT accuracy on United for 13 months, which really showed just how dominant Rafis was in 2018 when he reached number 1 on the Osu rankings. Informus would overtake his score with a higher combo on October 23rd, 2018, beating Rafis out with a combo of 790 versus 600, tying his miscount in the process, albeit with slightly lower accuracy. 2018 might have only seen 2 double time scores of significance, but 2019 would mark the craziest time in terms of double time score progression. Arison set by far the best DT score on United on March 24th, 2019. He had the highest combo with 946, the lowest DT miscount with just 20 misses, and far and away the best DT accuracy on the beat map. Not only was he the first 93% accuracy pass, he was the first 94% accuracy pass, beating Rafis' accuracy by almost a full 2%. His combo would not be beaten for more than a full year after this play was set. But this wouldn't be the craziest thing that would happen that year, because Ryuk would come around. If there was anyone that could set insane scores on United with DT, it was him. Just a few months ago, he set the very first 99% FC on Everything Will Freeze, and his speed improvement was just remarkable. And he quickly became one of the fastest and best speed players in the game. He would log hidden double time attempts on United, and his combo would keep going up. And it kept on going up and up, and eventually, his combo surpassed the 1000 mark. Not only that, but he had incredible accuracy to boot. This score was getting insane really quickly, but it was clear that the nerves were getting to him a little bit.
Ah! No! Ah, no, I'm saved. Oh my god! Oh no!
Sadly, he dropped what have been the craziest DT pass on United, failing after his combo peaked past the 1100 mark. He consistently had an accuracy of 98% throughout the entire play up until he failed, but this showed something incredible. As ridiculous as it sounds, a double time FC on United is actually possible. Just a year ago, people were barely getting A ranks, and now people are threatening to FC it. It all seemed that it would fall into place soon as more and more progress was made. Carthy would come around on November 1st, 2019, and would set the first 95% accuracy pass while just barely missing the 96% mark. This was the #1 HDDT score, the best DT accuracy pass, and he had the lowest DT miscount with 19. In terms of miscount, this score would not be beaten for a while. Some time would pass before his miscount was beaten, and even the pandemic shut everything down before more progression was made. But then Ryuke would start logging DT attempts on United again, and we would get closer than ever before. On May 8th, 2020, Ryuke would get the first single-digit miscount on United with just 5 misses, and looking at the leaderboard is just ridiculous.
I just got the lowest miscount and the highest AC by like a double-digit number.
The previous best miscount was 19, and he shaved off 14 misses. And not only was this the first 96% DT pass, it was the first 97% DT pass, and he was really close to 98%. He far and away had the best chance of FCing United with double time, and he would get close. Scarily close. A few months later on Christmas Eve, he was putting in more attempts in United with DT. And then, there was an attempt where he made it to the 3/4 point of the beat map without a single miss. He would eventually find a miss on one of the jumps, but he was well on his way to getting a 1 miss play on United with DT. He just wasn't missing on the aim section at all, and eventually, he reached the end. All that was left was the last stream.
No, I fucking finger locked because I was so nervous. No, that was literally a 1 miss.
He would find 3 misses on the last stream because he got nervous, and unfortunately, this insane play did not overwrite his previous DT scores, but this score was insane. This was definitive proof that a DT FC was possible. Now the question was, who was going to be the one to do it? As close as he got, these were the last attempts of note from Ryuke, and no one else would get close to the miscount he was getting. Try as they might, even the best speed players in the game just couldn't quite do it. We were getting so close, but nothing was falling into place. Despite everyone's best efforts, it was clear that it would take something incredible to finally break this curse. But thankfully around this time, there was a player that was doing things no one imagined were possible. 2021 is and forever will be the year of Emrich's rise. Not only was this the year that he would become the #1 OSU player, it marked a year where he would set some of the craziest scores in OSU history. If he put his mind to any score, he was going to get it eventually. And then, he started playing United with hidden double time. That's when we knew it was only a matter of time before the score no one thought was possible just a few years ago would finally be set. And of course, in true Emrich fashion, he reached a level of his own. On May 28th, 2021, Emrich would set the score with 3 misses, which was the lowest miscount on the map. Finally, after 5 months, someone would finally beat Ryuke's miscount of 4 after a long period of no progression. 3 days later, on May 31st, he would hold an FC through the first 3 quarters of the map, and reached by far the highest DT combo on United with a 1792 combo. He did find 8 misses towards the end of the map, but for the first time in a long time, a new #1 DT score was set on United, and it was clear that Emrich was going to be the one to do it eventually. He would continue putting in the attempts, and every time he was threatening an FC. The pieces were finally falling into place, and on one fateful day, on June 23rd, 2021, this happened. Finally, it was over. Emrich set the first DT FC on United with 1,116 PP at the time it was set, and Toy's HDHR SS was beaten for the first time ever after 5 years. The combined reaction of the community was a combination of players not knowing what in the world just happened and people hailing the score as the greatest score ever set in OSU history. This score was so historic and so crazy, it was voted the #1 best score of 2021 by the community by a wide margin. And to this day, Emrich's score remains at the top of the beatmap leaderboard. United has had a long history, not just with the scores that were set on it, but with the memes it started and how much this map in particular has impacted the community. It showed that what was once seen as a near impossibility was now doable with enough time and progression, and it's a map that forever has its place within the Yosu community. And with a play count of more than 7 million, it's safe to say that United is one of the most iconic beat maps of all time. Wait, Sotark's mapped his own version of United. I wonder what the leaderboard looks like on that map. Oh, hello again, Emrek. Speaking of Emrek, ever since his legendary play on United, he went on to completely dominate the Osu world with historic levels of play. But what exactly did he do in this time span? Well, if you want to find out, click the video on screen.